I'm Anaïs Tuerlinckx. I will play my self-developed string box, which you can see behind me. So it's kind of a very simple inside piano. How I will perform with different objects, and you will see, you will hear. Yes. It's a difficult question. I hope my improvisation is moving, so it's developing or changing. So yeah, I hope it's not possible to describe my improvisations with one word, but I think my improvisations are interested in materials and in textures mainly, and in energies. So I would say it's something interesting. I never reflected this way about my playing, or the way my playing has been evolving, but I can agree with your analysis. I think I like the idea to be a kind of medium for the sound to develop itself, or to come into life. And yes, for sure, I don't play the same I did before. It was, yeah, I mean, my improvisation developed, and it was not a very conscious thing for me. It was a kind of natural process. But yes, I would agree with your description. Yeah, I have a very close relationship to my instrument. For sure, it's important. Even if the most I play, the most I think I may be able to use a very different medium. It would be possible. It's not a condition for me to produce music, but yes, the instrument has a very intimate story. I mean, the piano is it's my instrument since I'm a child, and then this string box instrument is not so old, so it was finished in the lockdown. But for me, it's just so close from the piano in one way. It's not so different for me. And it was still important that I make something that is not so different from the feeling I have with the piano. So I didn't want to play something new. I wanted just to be able to be more flexible and carry the instrument with me, but I didn't want to rethink all my practice. So I think the relationship I have with the piano, even if it's a complex one, and it's hate and love at the same time, it's still an important thing for me. but it can, I see and I think that I may, with the time, maybe take more distance, but it's a very slow process, and it doesn't have to be neither. Yes, how I am satisfied about improvisation. So I'm very, very rarely satisfied about an improvisation. It's also difficult to assess it, if it failed or if it was good enough. But I think one factor could be that the tension, the Spannung, is there from beginning to the end, so that it's always on the edge, that it's always electric, even if it's something soft, but and that probably public and musician in this tension state of mind and in this feeling of tension are keeping being surprised. So as well as the public and the musician itself is surprising himself or herself while playing. So yes, to keep this open situation that maybe for the good, for the best, or for the worst, you are yourself discovering what is happening. And yes, if I think it's very difficult to answer this question, but it's something about keeping the energy alive, and mostly if the public and is kept thrilled from the beginning to the end, I'm happy. If I feel that the attention is going lost, then probably there is a problem of energy. The energy is maybe going away at one point. But of course, there are also aesthetic questions. You are not only having the same taste, and there are a lot of questions beside that. But yes, for me, it's to be taken over by sound from the beginning to the end. It's a satisfying feeling for an improvisation. I hope I'm not thinking. If I'm thinking, it's a very, very bad sign. I should not think. If I hear me think, it means that I'm out. Creating sound is the process for me. It's the process when I'm alone and searching for sound and textures, but for sure it's not the goal. No? The goal is hopefully more than that, and yeah, of course you want to express the unspeakable, so it's something is difficult to put words on, but it's, for me, improvisation is a lot about subconscious, and also a lot about emotions and all the things you are it's like I feel sometimes like all I carry in me, all the things I know, all the things I don't know, and also the things I may have lived. I may have lived before, I may have taken from the day. All these things are mixing and coming out together in the sound and in the moment. And I think it's what is coming out, and it is expressed. So it's not really I'm expressing, but it's coming out from itself, and it's like all mixed and very intense, and so it's a very mixing of unconscious things and things from the life and feelings and sensations. All these things are expressed in this moment, I hope. Well, it depends what you mean about pre-planned performance. If you are talking about pre-planned improvisation, I don't think it's so important. When I'm playing with other persons, it's everything totally open. And when I play on my own, sometimes I don't know at all how things will develop. And sometimes I like to have ideas beforehand and have a kind of preparation. And sometimes I use this and sometimes not. But I think pre-planned performance, it can be a help for not losing itself while improvising alone. I'm not so, I'm not so a purist for that. So, for example, tonight I leave it very open how it will develop. But I think it's not the most important is how the music is developing in the live moment, and if planning something, a kind of structure or some ideas is helping the performance, well, I don't think it's a big factor for me. I listen to very different kinds of music, actually. When I'm hearing live music, I'm still very thrilled to hear other improvisers, and I'm very, very interested and hungry to hear others improvising on stage. But when I am at home, I would prefer probably other musics, and it can be very various. So I cannot identify what is making me liking this or this kind of music, but yes, it's pretty diverse. So yes, it would be too long to list musics I like to hear or I would hear. But I make a kind of a big difference between the live situation and the hearing situation at home. So probably that's something I can remember.